What's up, Taiwan? I'm Philip Brossard with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Japan and the U.S. have for the first time agreed to oppose any attempt to unilaterally change the status quo in the Taiwan Strait by force or coercion. The joint statement comes after Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru met with U.S. President Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. For more on what this means for Taiwan and the region, Adil Brar spoke to Stephen Nagi, a professor at the International Christian University in Tokyo.
A joint US-Japan statement says that the two countries will oppose unilateral attempts to change the status quo in the Taiwan Strait. How do you view this statement?
I think first and foremost, in that comment, they include a comment about changing the status quo, including through coercion. So the Japanese and the Americans have come to the conclusion that military force may not be the way the Chinese try to change the status quo. It could be through a blockade. It could be through more economic coercion or other forms of coercion that China has a long track record for.
What does the US-Japan statement entail for Taiwan and the region?
So the Japanese and Americans are really on the same page of the book about many different aspects of the security challenges within the region, including that about maintaining peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. They see Taiwan as a global public good. It's an important economic partner. It is a key partner in technology supply chains, and it sits in a very, very busy sea lines of communication that ferry $5.5 trillion of trade. What happens to Taiwan matters. And in this sense, Washington and Tokyo are trying to be aligned, send the strongest of message to Beijing, but also other regional partners that are concerned about security issues and Trump's commitment to the region, that they are on the same page of the book.
Will Prime Minister Ishiba return reassured about the Trump administration's support for Japan?
I think that Mr. Ishiba, the Prime Minister of Japan, will come back and he will be seen as actually overperforming this trip. There was a lot of trepidation with him going and meeting Mr. Trump and what would be the dynamics. But looking at the readout of the meeting, looking at the joint statement, it appears that it was mission accomplished. He got there. He said he'd strengthen the partnership, that he would invest almost $1 trillion into the United States to joint build and invest in technology, infrastructure, defense. I think these are exactly what the Trump administration was looking for. And with that, they're going to continue to strengthen their bilateral partnership to ensure that authoritarian states don't change the status quo and don't use military force as a way to compel partners and friends.
That was Stephen Nagi with that analysis from Tokyo. Here in Taipei, though, the Foreign Ministry has responded to the Japan and the U.S.'s joint statement, expressing gratitude for their firm stance on maintaining peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. The Coast Guard is warning of two foreign-registered cargo ships that have been sailing around Taiwan for the past month. They say the Baoshun and Chengshun turned off their tracking transceivers on Friday, and say the vessels could be testing Taiwan's radar search capabilities. For more on the Mongolian-registered Baoshun, Jaime Okan spoke to Ray Powell, director of the Sea Light Initiative at Stanford University.
Is there anything specifically about the Baoshun that is catching your attention, or anything that Taiwan should be concerned about?
Initially, it got my attention because the Taiwan Coast Guard said that it drove it away following the other cable sabotage event, and because it was concerned about cables. And so in looking at the pattern around the northern tip of Taiwan, it doesn't seem to be doing things that cargo ships should be doing. A cargo ship's life, just by the very nature of what a cargo ship is, should be proceeding from port to port in generally as straight a line as possible. And so the Baoshun, as the deeper I looked at it, it never seemed to have gone anywhere, right? And so that's immediately of concern, because then what is it doing for its owner? If its owner, it claims to be a cargo company, then why is it there?
Previously, Taiwan has said that there's at least 50 or so suspicious ships operating around the country. But what do you think they're trying to accomplish?
Taiwan does seem to have a fair number of these ships that come into its space, a lot of them using what we call flags of convenience, right? So flags from countries that don't have very high standards for who they give flags to, or who they let register. And of course, Mongolia is an especially amusing example because Mongolia is landlocked. There is no coastline for Mongolia. So why is it hanging around off the coast of Taiwan? And cable sabotage is certainly a possibility given the places that it's been. Intelligence collection is a possibility. You need a ship that's large enough to actually cause damage, right? So you need a ship that when that bulk tugs on that cable, it's going to do damage to the cable. So if the ship is too small, the ship may be successful in anchoring on the cable, but the cable itself won't be damaged. So if that's the goal, then a cargo ship is a convenient way to do that.
In the long run, would you say that this is part of a gray zone strategy to wear down Taiwan, or is this a new kind of threat?
If it is looking for cables, of course, it's a threat to Taiwan's resilience against this kind of harassment, against it being cut off from other countries or from its outlying islands. Overall, the fact that if it is indeed sort of operating under the direction of a state actor like China or Beijing, then the threat is that it is part of a larger series of activities that is intended to harass Taiwan into perhaps conceding things that you would rather that Taiwan not concede over time, right? Parts of its sovereignty, parts of its, just things that over a long period of time whittle away at Taiwan's sovereignty. And so that's what you're worried about.
And that was Ray Powell, director of the Sea Light Initiative at Stanford University. Visitors to Tokyo can now walk through Edo, Japan at a new interactive exhibition featuring the works of the country's master artist Hokusai. Jeffrey Chun reports.
Crashing waves breaking before Japan's Mount Fuji. A new groundbreaking exhibition in Tokyo is welcoming visitors to step into the iconic works of the legendary artist Katsushika Hokusai.
本物を見るだけじゃなくて本物以上の体験で北斎が見たような景色だったりとかそれを映像を通じて感じてもらうっていうのが体験のコンセプトになっています。
Hokusai's wood block print works have made their mark on art history, inspiring Western artists like Monet and Van Gogh, and have captured the public imagination to the present day.
It was like the moment I first saw Fuji in Shinkansen. It was mesmerizing, and I felt it again here, so it's nice.
なんか絵を見たりするのは好きなんですけど、なかなか子供と一緒に行くのが難しいけど、こうやって体験が一緒に子供とできると、子供たち連れて一緒に撮れるので、よかったなって思いました。
The exhibition is following other tech-driven immersive art exhibitions already in the city. Using cutting-edge technologies, the interactive experience recreates scenes through the eyes of Hokusai.
この第一の部屋ではソニーのハプティクス技術の一つであるアクティブスレートというデバイスを使っています。葛飾北斎の作品に合わせて4つのシーンの世界に没入するような体験ができる部屋になっております。
Emblematic of Japan, Hokusai's wood block prints, also known as ukiyo-e, took the Japanese art medium to new heights. Perhaps his best-known work, The Great Wave of Kanagawa, now features on the nation's 1,000 yen note.
その亡くなる直前まで新しくずっとチャレンジングするような人だったんですね。なので今回の展示見ていただけたら僕だったらこうするみたいなもっとなんかそのアイディアが出てくるんじゃないかなと思います。
The exhibition will be open through the summer, offering patrons a glimpse of Japan's Edo period and into the country's rich cultural heritage. John Su and Jeffrey Chan for TaiwanPlus.
The 2025 Asian Winter Games have officially begun in China's northern city of Harbin. Taiwan's ice hockey player Lin Yangqi and short track speed skater Lin Junxie led the country's delegation of 67 athletes at the opening ceremony on Friday. This is the largest team Taiwan has ever sent to the event, with athletes set to compete in sports including figure skating, ice hockey, and curling. A cross-cultural theater ensemble in Taiwan has debuted a new experimental piece inspired by a classical Indian text and a Peking opera. Wesley Lewis went to see the performance in Miaoli City.
Bringing classical Indian literature to life for an audience in Taiwan. This eclectic Taiwan-based theater troupe that goes by X Theater Asia has made an impression here in Miaoli after they put on a spellbinding performance for the city's theater lovers. The play entitled Karna is inspired by the Sanskrit epic Mahabharata, considered one of ancient India's most important texts. It's a story of war, power, and Hindu philosophy. The performers say it's a source text that gave them a lot to work with.
Mahabharata is an epic, is an Indian epic, and it has so many dramatic portions, so many dramatic elements that it is actually a treat for theatre makers. It is a huge text, no doubt. Each and every chapter, or even each and every character, could be a whole play in itself.
3、2、1
The ensemble first came together in 2006 with the goal of pushing the boundaries of contemporary theater and fostering cross-cultural ties.
The India or the Indian culture or the Chinese cultures, the Taiwanese culture, all is quite rich culture, but we seldom have the chance to collaborate and know each other. So I think that this is a good chance. I think that we can see what are the similarities and what are the differences, and there can come a new language of theater.
This production does more than just bring together performers from Taiwan and India. It also blends cultures, incorporating elements of Peking opera. The performers say they rehearse tirelessly, learning from each other's theater traditions to create this experimental fusion.
不管说是在音乐上面的，在于身体上面，甚至在呼吸上面，大家找一些磨合。我说磨合是说，彼此了解彼此，然后找到那个默契，是真的是花了蛮长的时间的。
More than 1 month, we practiced the Chinese opera and the other forms also here, and that's how we engaged with this Chinese opera and Chinese music, Chinese theater, with X Theater, and we did the performance.
Now, after performing in central Taiwan for one night only, they're looking forward to showcasing this collaborative India-Taiwan production at New Delhi's annual National Theatre Festival, one of Asia's largest events of its kind. And with the opportunity to perform on an even bigger platform, they hope to widen their audiences for their multicultural and fresh take on an Indian classic. Luffy Lee, Eason Chen, Suvan Paul, and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or check out our social media for more of our stories. Now finally come with us to New York City's Bronx Zoo, where they've welcomed a baby silvered langur monkey. I'm Philip Brossard, take care, and we'll see you next time.